Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today on the Michael and Michael Show, we have Speaker Michael. He's going to be speaking on mental health. He's going to be speaking on this and that. And he's going to speak of his childhood shenanigans. Please give a warm welcome to Michael. Hey! Hold it now. We all got ADD. You think you gotta get it for free? We all got ADD. Come on now. If you ain't got no cheese, if you ain't got no cheese and you want ADD, if you ain't got no cheese and you want it for free, if you don't have ADD, if you don't have no cheese, I'll run you a lease. You want to lease ADD? Bum ass, come to my channel, no cheese. We can run it for free. Hold it up, I'm not even a G. Aw, freak out. Second ones, and have a real good time. Get ADD and aw, freak out. I'm glad I can entertain at least one of us. So, ADDville. Back in plain ADD land. I can't even remember which one I was gonna talk on. So, I guess we just go ADD fight style. ADD kid growing up. So, I have several videos, and I'm sure most people haven't seen these, especially new people, with videos on fighting. I was in a boatload of fights. A lot more than an average guy does. Being a little guy, just always, shit. Almost had a running light and almost got plowed. So I was all the time fighting, getting picked on. Like I said, I had to fight more than the average bear. All the time fighting. One of the times, and there again, this is in some of the videos, but I can pretty much bet 90% of you never heard these stories before. So, there's this kid, Anthony Waldrop. He lives right next door to my friend Zach Qualman. He's a grade younger than me, and he's a big weed dealer, and so he don't have a car, so I'm now taking Zach back and forth. I'm taking him home, and he's paying me in weed. We become friends, we start hanging out, all that. We trip on acid together, and like I said, Zach was a pretty large weed dealer in high school, and so I met a bunch of plugs through him and introduced him to some of my plugs. And so Zach lived right next door to Anthony Waldrop, aka Spanky. So there was a party the previous weekend, and one of the guys, this clique that hangs out with some people I do. So, like I said, there's a lot of people who know who this is, and there was quite a few people that were there. So Anthony Waldrop, aka Spanky, they're all at a party one weekend, and he's in the toilet, and someone kicks the door open, and they say he's in there playing with himself, drunk, right? So they started calling him Spanky. So, as I discussed, I took a bus to another school the last 2 periods. I went from last year to Walton for graphic arts and drafting. I've discussed this. And Anthony, this is where I met Shane. Shane was over in this class over there. It was the same class that I was in with this guy Zach. Got acid from, and there was a narc in the class. Anyways, so we went to this other school last 2 periods of the day. And Anthony was on that bus, and for like a couple of days, for like a week, I'm calling him Spanky. Go home and spank off, Spanky, Spankenstein, all this, right? So finally he gets to where he can't take it. So one day on the bus, he comes over and he lunges at me, and he gets to slap me in the head, and I jump up, and as soon as I do, the bus driver comes running back there with the broom and sitting there hitting me, swatting me with the broom. Break it up, break it up. All right, it's on. I tell him it's on. Zach's back, because like I said, he was my buddy's next door neighbor. Zach's backyard, 3:30. So we get off the bus, and it don't take no time, you know. He tells someone, I tell a bunch of someones, and before you know it, by the time I get there, there's like an entire, they live in a cul-de-sac. The entire cul-de-sac and both driveways are full of cars, right? Like half the school's there. Not really, but at least 50 plus people were there, right? Imagine that. So they form like this pit, I guess, you know, they form like this circle. And I come out, and he comes out, and we come running at each other, and boom, I hit him and knock him out. Make him do a backflip, honest to God, no exaggerating. I'm come running straight at him, full force, and I hit him, and he tumbles backwards. Like the cleanest shot you could ever imagine, you know, dead square on with running, you know, have good hand-eye coordination. That's, you know, people with ADD are, you know, that strengths and weaknesses. One of our strengths is hand-eye coordination, right? Our brains work faster than the normal person. That's why all the time we won't be able to keep up with someone. We'll be like 2 steps ahead, wanting to interrupt people. We're just programmed that way. Like I said, our brains work faster. So my hand-eye coordination is, you know, is 100, when the average person is maybe 70 or 80. Like, I've been able to excel like anything, you know, and like I said, that's the strength. I have many weaknesses. I'm just telling you a strength. So my strength's always been fighting, you know, playing ball, hitting something, you know, dead on target, all that. Baseball, you know, I'm just good at that. That's one of my strengths. I hit him clean, knock him out stupid, and I get on top of him, start beating him up, and then I let him go. Gets up, and I say, go on, Spanky. He gets up after breathing for a few minutes. Round 2. He says something, I say something, and we go out again. And the same exact thing happens. I come running full force, bam! I level him, and he tumbles half backwards. Get on top of him, punish him some more. Dude never even got a swing off on me. So I beat this kid half to death, right? So now the fight's over. I've done probably, I don't even know how many punches I've landed, you know, clean shots. And like I said, I got on top of him, was swinging from on top, you know, with him not even resisting. You know, he was out cold, and I'm still hitting him. And I let him up. You know, I'd get up, I'd feel bad, get off him. You know, he's defenseless. He was bigger than me too. He was quite a bit bigger than me. It was surprising to me and everyone that this guy, you know, he didn't have like no strength in him. You know, he couldn't wrestle me, get me off of him. He didn't even, you know, wasn't even able really to try. None of that. His fight game was weak. And like I said, you know, I'm 5'5", he's 5. You know, he's 5'10", 5'11". You know, I'm 135. He's 170. Something, you know, he's twice my size. He ought to be able to whoop me, no problem. So I wound up beating this kid stupid. And then we think it's done and over with now, right? Now by this time we're in Zach's backyard. So by this time I got people who are up on Zach's deck. They're rolling up blunts, and people are starting to, you know, cling to Zach's back deck. And I'm walking up Zach's back stairs. And I said, go on, Spanky. Go home and spank something. Everyone, you know, 50 people chuckling and laughing. And, you got your ass beat. Same thing. He come running over to me. I'm on the stairs now, so I'm higher than him. He comes running. I jump off the porch with like a Superman punch, like down on him. And third knockout in one fight. And just pummeled him with one punch, you know, off the stairs, Superman punch. People know the Superman punches, right? You know, lunging at him, higher than him, and just mangled this kid. Beat him up so bad, he told his parents, he was working on a car in his garage. He told his parents he dropped transmission on his face. I beat him. His face was so bad. He didn't go to school for 2 weeks. His girlfriend was this girl, can't even remember her name. He had this pretty girlfriend, right? And she had it for me, and I wanted her, and she'd come into my house. We'd go swimming. She'd flirt with me. But she wasn't giving it up. Can't remember her name. So that was his girlfriend, right? And so, I totally destroyed him. His girlfriend was embarrassed of him, left him after that. I made this kid look like a complete fool. There was, like I said, there was 50 some odd people, and a good portion, he was friends with like the jocks and like some of the dorky jocks. I'm friends with the same people. And so those are the people that were there, guys on the football team, know everybody, big mouths, So he couldn't show his face for 2 weeks after that. It was freaking hilarious. But the beating him up and then telling him to go home and spank off Spanky, half the school, half of our grade sitting there laughing at him was good times. Damn good times. I didn't win every fight though. There was this guy, Travis Reed. A lot of people know that is. He was like one of the most popular guys in school. I didn't like him. I didn't like his type. He was one of those guys I didn't like at the time. When people first started having mushroom hair, long bangs all the way around, call it a mushroom haircut. They'd wear mushroom hair, and everyone looked like this, and when they first started wearing baggy jeans and cardigan sweaters and all this shit. They used to call them baggy butt posers, baggy butt biozers, mushroom head, baggy butt biozers. That's what this guy Travis Reed was. Like I said, he was one of the most popular guys in the school. So he was, like I said, he was friends with everybody. I didn't like him or any of his friends. The most popular guys, all like this, cardigan, polo sweaters, tennis sweaters. I didn't dig those kind of guys. This guy, Brian Merrick, his buddy, another one of the most popular guys in the school, was in the bathroom peeing one day, right? Just in the stall. ADD, me, angry sometimes, bitter at the world. If I didn't like you, I didn't like you. So this guy's pissing in the stall. I go over there, I don't know why, and I kick him in the butt. So he pees all over the place, right? I was just an asshole. Just went over there, and like I said, with my foot, kicked him in the butt. He was in the stall, and made him pee all over the place and himself. So that put a mark on my head, right? So then, from then on, every morning, we'd come in from either you drove or you rode the bus, but we'd come in high school, and everybody would click up, right, in like the main skylight area. All blacks, jocks, punks, the type, the whole, like I said, every type of different facet of group there would be groups all around the skylight area. So there was the baggy butt, mushroom head biozers. So they'd be all there snickering at me, looking at me and stuff, and pointing, and I started getting intimidated a little bit because although I did have a good name for myself, was always really kind of like a loner. I didn't click up with a bunch of people. People like me are usually, we usually do our own things. I've always been kind of like a do my own thing kind of guy. I have friends, and when I become friends, that's it. Me and that one person are best of friends. We spend all the time together, and that's it. And I don't mess with anyone else, really. I've just always been like that. I'm not comfortable with a whole bunch of people. I just never really dug it until later on. In our 20s, I would get together with all the guys I did. We all go to Buckhead. But this was in high school. Like I said, I was more of a me and one friend and didn't care too much of others. So I'm sitting there by myself every morning. It might be me talking to one or two other people. And, there's a whole crowd of these guys, hawking me, snickering, this, that, you know what they're all saying and thinking. And so, finally the guy looks at me or says something. I don't even remember exactly how it came down, but he's giving me shit look and this, and I flicked him off. Fuck you. Excuse my language. Oh yeah, 3:30 Winn-Dixie. All right. I think it might have been tomorrow, something like that. It wasn't right then, right? It was the next day or so. For some reason, it may have instigated it, and then other people were talking about it next day or so. It wasn't right then when I said F you, and he was giving me the eat shit and die look. It was the next day or two. This day, I wound up getting sick. Okay, first time ever, since I was a kid, brutally sick, ill, 104 fever temperature, right? 104, I remember. Came down to 103. It was 104 that day, which is damn near brain dead. That's how sick I was. And it came, I remember, I had to stay home, had to go home from school, and or stayed home from school. I remember I got, god awful sick. And I remember my mom taking my temperature, and I was 104 that day. And so I was due to fight this kid at 3:15, 3:30 after school. There's no way in God's green earth I'm gonna punk out. I'm just not built like that. So I wind up going to the fight anyways, and I get my ass handed to me. I'm out there, and I'm not me. I think if I'd have been me 100%, I would have taken him. If we'd had a rematch, I'd take him on a normal day. He wasn't all that, but I was nowhere near there. I was dehydrated. Like I said, I had 104 fever that day. So I'm at like 100, 102 something. I'm way out of shape to be fighting. So we go out there, and I remember I have like nothing in my punch at all. I don't have no meat. I go to hit him, and I'm like sluggy as hell. And I'm like I can remember one time like leaning up against the car, and he comes over and hits me. Like I'm doing all I can to pull myself together to swing on him. I can barely hold myself up. I'm so sick. He gets a couple shots on me. Then I get mad and angry once he gets a clean one. And I remember people looking at me, and I remember just seeing red from that. Right then and there, cops! Everyone shoots like cockroaches when the lights come on. Everybody's scattered, right? It's me and that kid. That's it. Me and Travis Reed are sitting there. Everyone else is skedadding. There's cops in the parking lot. I run over to him and I give him a two-piece, right? Pop! He says, What are you doing, man? And I hit him again. And he looks at me like crazy, like, damn crazy kid. And so I at least got a two-piece and another shot on him. And my dumb ass will sit there and slug it out. So I remember him looking at me like, what are you doing? I gave him a two-piece. It wasn't a normal, lay into him punch. If I'd have been on an average day, I would have taken him out. Like I said, I was sick. Even my two-piece was not as good as it, only half of me at that. And he says, what are you doing? And I hit him again. And he runs and I run. And I run and get into my car, and there's literally it's like a Too Fast, Too Furious scene. Like, no exaggeration. Cops are in the parking lot. And I hit him again, and we both take off. We jump in our cars, and there's the entire parking lot was full of cars. We're talking, I couldn't even tell you, over 50 to 100 cars. This, like I said, he was one of the most popular people in the entire school. The entire school, damn near. Any and everyone that drove and could get a ride was there, right? You feel what I'm saying? So he got the best of me, and I ran over and jumped in my car, and this goober, I used to hang out with this guy, Chip Baldwin, Goofy. He comes over, and he had drove me when I was younger. When I was 15, he used to pick me and Donovan up. He'd take us. He was several years older than me, but he had a car, and he would, cart me around. He used to take me to my girlfriend Stephanie's house even before I got my license and all that. So he jumps in the car and says, can you take me home? I said, I guess. So I hope that was entertaining for the day. What else? Day ADD. Shout out Birdman if you still listen to this. Shout out, dog. I didn't mean you no harm, man. My car is 2017. Hey, bro. when I was your age, I was driving a piece of shit, okay? Truthfully honest, you're 36, 37. I think, there was a time that I got out of jail and didn't have a car at all. I had a Mazda, an old beater. It was nice, but it was old, and it died, and transmission went. I've been without a vehicle as an adult. Don't take it personally. I've been worse, is what I'm saying. I've been much worse. I had a crappy-ass convertible I used to drive that leaked. This was all I could get. Like I said, my credit and my name, everything when I got out of jail was tarnished. So I've been there. I've been in way worse. Been way worse, I promise you. Many, many times in life. And many, many times as a grown adult, as a parent. So, no harm, no foul. Love you all. Stay ADD. Ha 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 ha.